In this tutorial, we'll cover the book editor in Osmium, which is really the heart and soul of the program. It allows you to configure all the markets, how you want them to look, where you get them, etc. Um, so let's take a look at that. Oh, when Osmium is first installed and run, it has two default leaves or pages or tabs. Um, One of them is just a cross section of indices and uh, ETFs for commodities, sectors, currencies, etc. So there's the Qs, Bitcoin, gold, there's SPY. And of course, you can sort them by change from the last close, a 1 year stochastic. Then if you had any positions, you could sort them by profit, loss, equity, etc. And then there's a tab for T-bills. If you're wondering why T-bills is sitting here by itself, it's very simple. If you have cash, like I do, why hold it in uh, a non-interest bearing manner, depending on your broker? In this case, Alpaca, I don't believe pays that much interest on unused cash, but I can put it in T-bills or anything else I want, and I separate it off so the stats are specific to my cash reserve, and I can just hit all cash if I'm a taker and grab 71,000 in T-bills. And so now I know I have 99.94%, now 3% of my equity in T-bills. So if I come back here and buy some spiders, now I have 454% in spiders. I'm in debt. My total book equity on this leaf is 4%. If I go back to T-bills, I can see that I have 99, which means I have margin. But I can very simply pay that margin down with a couple clicks of a button. Now I'm back to $4 in cash, and there's my true percent in cash, 95. And now I still have my spiders, which I may as well hold on to for right now. But that's not what this tutorial is about. This is for the book editor, but it gives you an idea of why T-bills is by itself. First thing you'll notice is when you click one of these, it populates. You can make changes and then save them. It also copies them to the clipboard. And that's important for two reasons. One is you could make a copy if you want. Although there are other ways to do that. You can just change this name, save it. Or you can take these symbols that you've copied to the clipboard and paste them in another program. For example, if I go to Benzinga, I can create a new watch list. And with those symbols on the clipboard, just select in there, hit Control V, and they'll paste in. Benzinga takes a while to process that. Lots of third-party apps will allow you to paste from the clipboard to create watch lists, portfolios, etc. But not every program allows you to send symbols via query string. So the clipboard maneuver is helpful when you want to, find the news on oil, but Benzinga doesn't take a query string for the symbol. So there are essentially three ways to get symbols into the book, and each of these is a leaf. Let's do new. One is to just type them in. And you can use your tab. And what is it, Tesla? All right, very good. So now I have my Mag 7. Now it won't show immediately down here. You have to apply, which we'll do after we configure a couple more watch lists. If I want to edit that or copy it to the clipboard, I can just select it and change it. You'll notice it sets them all to caps, so you don't actually have to do that yourself. So another way to get symbols into Osmium is to copy them in from the clipboard. I don't know why I clicked that again, but if I have, let's say, a scanner, and I'm back to Benzinga, incidentally, let's get a more interesting list. Let's get some small caps, if there are any. That'll do. And I'm just sorting by free cash flow. So if I have a scanner that I like in Benzinga, I can literally just copy all these symbols. CTRL-C, come back over here, hit new. It'll only take the first 30 from the clipboard, and that's to be expected. Oh, list has no name. Yes. It's easy scan. Now, it paused there for a second because it's checking every one of those symbols, and with good reason. For example, I'm going to go back to the Mag 7. Let's say I put Berkshire Hathaway as BRK-B, which is actually what's going to come in on FinViz, and I try and save it. It's going to say symbols invalid. So it actually checks all the symbols, and I can change that. I can either delete it or change it to a decimal. And now I have Berkshire in my list. So copying in from the clipboard is a great way to get stuff in here. You can, a common thing, for example, from Guru Focus, you export a list. It'll pop down as a CSV. You can open it in Excel, copy the symbols, and paste them right in here. So almost every program will either let you download or copy symbols. And again, since every time you use the symbols or look at them in here, it copies them to the clipboard, you can very easily take them out to a third-party analysis program. There's also over here on the top right, which I would probably not do a tutorial on this, is the export button, which will send out every one of these lists. Not this one because we haven't applied it yet, out to the disk drive as a CSV. So the third way of getting symbols into the book is the most interesting, and it involves using FinViz. If you have an elite subscription to FinViz, which I would encourage anyone to get, and we have Osmium has no affiliation with FinViz, it's just a great tool. And for elite subscribers, they offer the use of RESTful API to pull a screen. So I have a couple of screeners built already. If you go into the screen editor, these screen parameters, you can take them as is, Control-A, Control-C, bring them over to Osmium, hit new, and paste them right there and hit from screener. And it'll pull the symbols in. And then I can say, oh, I think this is actually S&P top 30 and save. Berkshire Hathaway, but we've already covered that and we know exactly what to do. So each one of these leaf configurations can have its own screen out in FinViz. That is incredibly useful. Then, of course, copies onto the clipboard, you can take them to TrendSpider or Benzinga or Morningstar and clip them in and start using other research tools in line with your book. Supply all these. If for some reason, and there's 1,000 different ways the book is error checked, the system crashes, you can go into your app data roaming folder, app data roaming Osmium, and just delete the book.osmium file, and it'll start over. So look at this. I'm $1.20 up on SPY, swimming pools, movie stars, and I've got my new lists. I can start going bazonkers. Osmium is super powerful. If I want to put a percent of my equity into each one of these symbols, I can very easily figure out what that is. Well, let's do a little more in Google. And it's very quick, and then this calculates in real time. Don't forget, you're going to hold margin if you don't go back to your T-bills and start to lighten up on them. It also takes a little while to get used to the multi-click trading. So, one-click trading, but you're going from course to fine to set a position where you want it. But that's a lot better to use on a touchscreen than manual number symbol entry. So the book, again, centerpiece, very powerful. You can use screeners, you can use the clipboard, you can put symbols in, you can take symbols out. Very useful. I can't stress that enough. That combined with the ability to immediately say, what's going on with Broadcom? Well, I can't tell from there. Let's look at the daily. Oh, yeah, that's right. They jumped on Friday. If you want to know why, OpenAI partnership, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at that valuation. Ratings, factor grades. Wow, okay. This is not an analysis tutorial. And then I can see, but wait a minute, what are their financials look like? Okay, we're pegging out the screen here. So whichever tools you like to use, and wherever you like to get your markets, wherever you like to analyze your markets, you can do it all inside of Osmium. I should stress again that using the FinViz screener does require FinViz Elite, and you will have to take your API key from FinViz and put it in the keys section of Osmium. I won't show you that, so I don't want you to see my keys. So that's it for today. I'm going to watch my SPY go up. But I hope this was useful, and may you trade well.